Welcome back to the Fairways of Life show. Historic rounds this past week. This was Friday, the par 4 11th. Oh, holes out for eagle for Neiman. What a day he had. This is for birdie at 17. This was his last birdie of the day. So call it. Secured a 59 for Joaquin. Look at that scorecard. Quite impressive, right? He spoke to his 59.
Yeah, no, it was obviously an amazing round. I played solid since the beginning, and I never stopped playing good. So it was good to hit good tee shots on the last couple of holes where they're kind of tricky, especially 16, 18, and number 1. And yeah, I mean, I give myself a few chances also on the last couple of holes to go even lower, but yeah, still really happy.
John said that he would have put money on the fact that no one would have shot a 59 on this course this week. What do you make of that?
He owes me money then. How much was it? Yeah, it was. I mean, I wouldn't think the same either. I mean, I think he was playing. The fairways are playing a lot tighter than they used to be. Rough is a lot trickier too. It's a little longer and yeah, I mean, you got a lot of different lies, which is tricky. But yeah, I mean, I play an amazing golf. I wherever I was hitting the ball, sometimes I was getting good lies, good bounces into the fairway, good numbers. So everything came up pretty good during the whole day. I mean, I knew I was close. I knew that the course, it couldn't be 71 like it couldn't be 72. But yeah, I didn't want it to do the math and start counting how many par 5s and par 3s there is on the golf course. But then I get to 18, and yeah, a few guys were shouting, "Come on, Juan, go for the 58," and I'm like, I'm right there. and yeah, I mean, I missed that putter on 18. It broke a lot more than I thought, but yeah, I mean, I hit a great tee shot also, number 1. Give myself a good number. I just mishit it a little bit and misjudged the win. But yeah, I knew if I kept myself calm and if I kept myself the same way I was on the first couple of holes, I knew I was gonna be a really low day, and I felt that I was able to do that during the whole day. I felt like I was calm the whole day. I never went ahead of myself. I stick to my routine. I visualize my shots, and I just went ahead and compromised with all those shots, and I was pretty confident on all of them. So I just happy to be able to pull those shots, and yeah, I mean, finish the round with a 59.
That sound after Niemann's score of 59. Now remember, in the next round, he was assessed a 2-stroke penalty for an incorrect drop, and then ultimately earned his way into a playoff that he won over Sergio Garcia. As to Wyndham Clark, he had an opportunity to shoot 59, maybe even better. He missed some putts that were right in the heart in the finishing holes. He spoke about it, and you heard the sound earlier in the program, but it was a historic round nonetheless, a 60 on Pebble Beach. It does officially set the course record at Pebble, a 62 by Matthias Schwab in 2022, Patrick Cantlay in 2021, David Duval in 1997, and Tom Kite in 1983. That 60, again, equals the tournament 18-hole scoring record as well. Sung Kang did it with a 60 in round 2 of the 2016 event, but that was at Monterey Peninsula Country Club. It is officially the 54th score of 60 in PGA Tour history, with Nick Dunlap, the most recent to have done it at the 2023 American Express in the 3rd round. The previous low score on tour for Wyndham Clark was a 61 at the 2020 WM Phoenix Open in the opening round. His front 928, that was in the 3rd round. That 60, of course, ties the lowest score on Pebble Beach's front 9 at the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. He's the 4th player to perform the feat. The most recent was Brent Schwartzrock in round 1 in 2002. It's a first 28 or better on tour since Eric Cole at the 2023 RSM Classics 3rd round. I mentioned this earlier in the show, but it deserves again to be underscored. Career high 189 feet 9 inches of putts made en route to that 60. The previous best for him was 156 6 inches in the third round of the 2020 Shriners Children's Open, and this is the fourth time that he has played at the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am, etching his victory. Look at that score. He had 2 eagles on his opening 9. 2 eagles on his opening 9. Here is Wyndham discussing his 60.
I got to give some credit to my team, and I worked with a guy by the name of Mike, and sorry, don't know his last name. Just met him this week. I flew in early Sunday, spent about 3-4 hours with him. I had 9 putters on the putting green, and I've been using kind of the putter that Ricky and I've been using. Kind of started using that last year, and I've really struggled on the greens since the U.S. Open. And so basically I brought these putters, and we resulted to changing no line on the putter. I went a little bit shorter, and I went from being conventional to crosshand. So a lot of big changes. But when you're in a spot where I was mentally in putting, you kind of needed a change just so it was something totally different, so you couldn't complain or have those same feels that I had, in these previous tournaments. So yeah, a lot changed, but I think, not having the line on the putter has been the biggest thing for me. The brunt of our work has been on the putting recently, and we've been so focused on it. And she kind of maybe told me, or she told me this week, she goes, let's stop having goals for putting, and let's just move on. We were putting too much emphasis on the putting, and we were trying to have the best attitude we could possibly have, especially coming into greens like this where they are really bumpy, so slopey, and it makes it really hard to make putts. And so I was really just trying to focus on making the best stroke I can, and regardless of where the ball goes, even though everyone tries to do that, it's been really hard for me lately. And I've done a good job this week of that, and I think my patience the first 2 days on the greens really paid off, because then obviously I made a lot of putts today. It's obviously tough. I think if you ask some people on my team, they probably would have predicted it, just because you do have such a great year, and then we had some time off, and it's kind of hard because for me, it was hard to get back to present and to not be frustrated, and now your expectations are through the roof. And so that's been kind of a little bit of a struggle in this first part of the year. And then you add not putting well, and so then I was really getting frustrated. But I know it's the start of the year. I've been hitting it good, and I've been doing a lot of positive things. So I just have really been trying to focus on that. And then even though sometimes I didn't know where I was going with the putting, I had to believe that it was going to eventually come back. And so, it's honestly more than anything, it's just really rewarding to finally make some putts, see some putts, and, I feel like I rewarded myself with being patient and then having a great day today.
We're focusing so much on the putting of Wyndham Clark in that round of 60 that earned him that victory over Oberg. But in fairness, I think that Wyndham Clark is one of those type players that when his game is on song, I'm talking about everything, his golf swing is inspiring. And there's another question of the day as I'm talking about this, Tom. But when you think about, the Sam Sneads to many people, Freddie Couples, et cetera, those swings that are kind of all-time inspiring golf swings, and there's many more than those that I mentioned. I think Wyndham Clark has one of those golf swings that looks that good. Here are some of his third-round stats that are most impressive. Strokes gained, approach to green. He gained 3 strokes in the average of the field. Strokes gained putting, obviously, 5.2. Look at that. Obviously first. Strokes gained total, 9.075. Very impressive. Driving distance, 308.7. It's always been a weapon of his. Greens in regulation, almost 90%. Putts per green, 1.38. Total putts, 23. Let that settle.